Good morning. I want to discuss the string of violence that has been plaguing the city of Birmingham during the month of March. There have been 13 homicides so far in March in 2024 in Birmingham. It's very disheartening for our residents as well as the men and women of the Birmingham Police Department who continue to work these crimes. And I know that our residents are tired of hearing gunfire and reading about the shootings and homicides in the news daily. I can assure you that the City of Birmingham leadership and the Birmingham Police Department are working diligently to utilize all of our resources to combat crime in our city. I'm now going to chronicle each one of the homicides we'll go through and discuss some of the unique factors in each one of those cases. On March 3rd, 2024, at 2:35 a.m., Nigel Fong, black male, 22 years of age, was shot and killed inside 912 Dugan Avenue. This is an Airbnb that was rented for a birthday party. The party location was shared with a number of people and strangers began arriving. An altercation ensued between the victim and several suspects, resulting in the victim being shot inside the residence and ultimately dying. During the investigation, marijuana was found inside the Airbnb. This is an ongoing investigation. March 2nd, 2023, at 12:40 a.m., Roderick Walker, black male, 47 years of age, was shot and killed inside 4222 Avenue U, Inslee. Walker was known to sell drugs, and some acquaintances came to this location and an argument ensued. Walker was shot and ultimately passed away. This is an ongoing investigation. March 9th, 2024, at 2:20 a.m., Lamar King, black male, 42 years of age, was shot and killed in the 1900 block of 13th Way Southwest. Kelvin Edwards, black male, has been charged with murder in this case and is in the Jefferson County Jail. This is Edwards' second arrest for murder. On March 10th, 2024, at 8:57 a.m., Derek Keith, black male, 30 years of age, was shot and killed inside 2344 7th Way Northwest. This was a domestic incident. The victim and the suspect are acquaintances. The suspect has been identified and is cooperating in this case. On March 11th, 2024, at 4:54 p.m., Jerry Lewis, black male, 44 years of age, was at 101 First Avenue Southwest, which is a location that he was most likely at to purchase illegal narcotics, when a suspect began shooting, which ultimately cost Lewis his life. Detectives believe the location was targeted by the suspects due to the narcotic sales at this location. March 13th, 2024, at 7:47 p.m., Willie Carr, black male, 55 years of age, was shot and killed inside 1100 Cotton Avenue Southwest. This is a location where a family gathering was occurring. James Burdett has been arrested and charged with murder in this case, and I want to highlight that witnesses cooperated and gave detectives information, which ultimately led to Burdett's arrest and also him being identified. This was the situation where a food truck was stolen by the suspect, and he was ultimately arrested in Chilton County by Chilton County Sheriff's deputies. We thank them for their cooperation and assistance in this case. March 16th, 2024, at 11:15 p.m., Malik Chandler, black male, 22 years of age, was shot and killed in the 8300 block of Vassar Avenue. Chandler was a suspect in a 2023 homicide that our detectives are currently working. At the time of his death, he was in a stolen vehicle and was dressed in all black and wearing a ski mask covering his face. He was lured by some of his friends to go with him to shoot up a house and was ultimately killed by his friends because they wanted his gun. March 17th, 2024, at 6:14 a.m., Leon Wyatt Jr., black male, 25 years of age, and Cartice Perkins, black male, 25 years of age, were killed in the 3400 block of Boise Avenue Southwest. An altercation had occurred earlier at a nightclub in the city of Birmingham. This resulted in a meetup with some of those individuals involved in that altercation at this location. A shootout ensued where 75 rounds were fired from multiple firearms. Detectives are still working this case. March 17th, 2024, at 10:13 a.m., Dominiquez Solis, Hispanic male, 38 years of age, was shot and killed at 6233 Blockton Avenue at an unlicensed nightclub. The victim had a significant amount of narcotics on his person when he was killed. This is an ongoing investigation. March 18th, 2024, at 5:20 p.m., Jonathan Thomas, black male, 18 years of age, was shot and killed in the 1600 block of 27th Street, Inslee. Thomas was on house arrest, but had cut his ankle monitor off and left home. He was found with a rifle in his pants at the time he was killed. This is an ongoing investigation. March 19th, 2024, at 3:54 p.m., Byron McNeil, black male, 38 years of age, was shot and killed in the 100 block of 6th Avenue North. He was shot and killed by a lifelong friend due to an argument. This was the second argument that the victim and suspect had had on this day at the same location. I'd like to commend the suspect's family for cooperating and bringing the suspect into police. The suspect is currently in the Birmingham City Jail on a 48-hour hold for capital murder. Now that we've covered those cases, I kind of highlight some of the issues and things that we see on a daily basis. We continue to have very little witness cooperation in many of these cases. And as I spoke with the detectives today, that is probably the biggest factor that's prohibiting us from solving the majority of these cases. Recently, we saw in the Mahogany, the case with Miss Mahogany, where witness cooperation led to that case being quickly solved and 8 suspects being arrested. Also, in 2 of the cases I've highlighted this morning, witnesses came forward and gave detectives information and arrests were quickly made. We need more witness cooperation. The silence that occurs in this city is unacceptable and is prohibiting this city from being safer and is continuing to allow the violence to continue in this city. And if for those who don't want to be witnesses, that's fine. I encourage you to be a part of Birmingham Connect. Get your cameras on our system, whether you're a business owner or homeowner. We want the access to the exterior cameras on your home or your business, and that way you don't have to say anything. We can just play the video for the judge, the jury, the district attorney, and let the video speak for itself, and we can solve many of these cases. And that was a case, again, with Ms. Mahogany's case. There was video in some of that. That'll be crucial as that case plays out in court. We continue to see the issue of people, places, and behaviors, and that's kind of why I highlighted some of the issues that in some of the cases that we went over earlier. The locations, the times of day, the things that some of these individuals were involved in ultimately led to their death. And when we avoid those things, we don't see these cases occur. There seems to be no conflict resolution amongst our community members. In a couple of these cases, or several of these cases, I highlighted that people were friends or their acquaintances were the ones who actually killed them. I don't know about any of you all, but those are friends and acquaintances that I don't want to be around. You know, there was an old saying of live by the sword and die by the sword. I think the saying is now live by the gun, die by the gun. Because everybody seems to have a firearm and think that that's how we solve all of our issues today. And it's just plain unacceptable. It's plain and unacceptable for all of the good citizens who live in this city. And there's a very small percentage of individuals who are wreaking havoc on this city. And I'm here to tell you that the Birmingham Police Department and the city of Birmingham will do everything in its power to work with our state and federal partners to combat this situation. I'd also like to highlight several other things. So what is the Birmingham Police Department doing? So in yesterday's case that occurred at the 100 block of 6th Avenue North, narcotics detectives were conducting an operation about 1 block away. They heard the gunshots, were able to quickly respond. They were able to quickly get information that ultimately led us to a witness and gather additional information and make an arrest in that case. So I want to highlight that too. So when you say, well, this was going on, where were the police? Well, the police were there, and it resulted in an arrest in that case. We have a number of different units that are working out in the streets every day. You may not see them because many of them work in plain clothes. Our Special Enforcement Division, our Crime Reduction Team. We have task force officers assigned to all of our federal entities here in Birmingham, and our narcotics unit work diligently every day, in addition to the men and women who are out there in the uniform every day to keep the streets and neighborhoods safe in the city of Birmingham. So we continue to work hard, but the foolishness that continues to take place in our city is just absolutely ridiculous. Questions?
And just to clear, even though some of these people may have done maybe bad things in the past or maybe have been found with marijuana, different things like that, does that impact the investigation at all? Do they still get treated?
It gets treated the same, but it's when we have to look at what the person's history or what their day-to-day activity is to find out what is normal, what is not normal, that may help us solve the case. But had those people not been involved in some of those activities, they most likely would be alive today. And that's kind of some of the things that we want to highlight. If you're not involved in these activities at some of these locations and involved with these people that are your friends, then you'll most likely stay alive, and that would equate to less violence in our city. So people got to stop and think about what they're doing, where they're doing it. A lot of these occurred in the middle of the night. You know, when people see the news stories, they think, oh my gosh, if I come to Birmingham, I'm going to be killed. I can sit here and tell you after almost 26 years in this police department, that's not the case. Almost every one of these people that were killed was killed by someone they knew. These were not stranger homicides. There's not serial killers running around the city of Birmingham. These are people engaged in nefarious activities, doing things they shouldn't be doing with people they shouldn't be with, and it has cost them their lives. I'm sorry that they lost their lives. I'm sorry to the families who are grieving right now because of the loss of their loved one. But these could have been prevented. And people have got to stop and think before they do things so we can get the violence down in our city. People have got to come forward to the police department and give us information so we can act on it. We've proven just this year how quickly we can act and get people off the street, whether it's 8 or 800. We will get them off the street quickly to make this city safer. We've just got to have the information to move forward. Those silent voices are just as bad as those people who are out here committing the violence. They're not assisting in making this city safer. Yes, sir.
Chief Thurmond, why do you think that people aren't coming forward and reporting? I know we've had cases where they have, but most of these cases, why do you think they haven't come forward?
There's probably a number of issues. I think some people just don't want to be involved. It doesn't affect them directly. But what's ironic is sometime later in history, we see where it does impact their family, and then they're upset because witnesses don't come forward. And so it's a challenge. And so if you want to remain silent, give us access to your cameras. So, you know, you can remain silent, give us the access. As you'll have seen in many cases that we worked over the recent years, the video footage. You know, we had the shooting in Kingston last year. It was so graphic we solved the case. You know, the quality of the video, the real-time crime center, and all the assets that we have. We can solve these cases if we just get that little piece. And we just need people to come forward and assist us. The police department can't do it all by ourselves. There has to be buy-in from our residents. And I guess I'm kind of shocked that our residents just haven't had enough yet. What does it take for people to just say, I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of this in my city. I'm sick and tired of listening to gunfire in my neighborhood. I want it to stop. If you all remember, almost the same time last year, we had this same press conference. We had talked about a number of homicides that occurred in March in 2023. There had been some juveniles shot and killed. The average age of our homicide victims this year is 31 years of age. 2023, the average age was 33. The average age for March of this year is 33. And as I read out the ages, many of those people are older and should know better and should have ways to resolve conflict than to be involved in these type of situations. And it's really, I guess I don't have words to describe it. It's senseless.
And I guess as you point out the commonalities from this year to last year, is there anything that the Birmingham Police Department is doing differently to try to combat the issue?
Well, here again, if I gave you a puzzle, but I'm going to hold 10 pieces out, how can I expect you to solve that puzzle? Will you ever have a complete picture of what that puzzle is supposed to look like? And the answer is no. And so we have the resources. We have what we need to do the job. We're missing those puzzle pieces, which is people coming forward and giving us the information to solve these cases. We don't have these great A&E type homicides that are some CSI effect. That's not what's happening. We have person-to-person homicides where there's people there who know what happened. And if they would share that information, we could solve these homicides. We can get these people off the streets of Birmingham, and our city will be much safer.
Has it been hard getting people to sign up for the camera program?
It is, and so that's why we continue to push that out. Is we haven't had the participation that we would like to see. We've seen it in other major cities. We've seen it working in other major cities, and so we know it's possible, but the public has got to share that information with us. I'm not interested, and nor is anyone else in this police department interested in what is going on inside your home. I just want to see what's going on out in the street in front of your home or in the back alley behind your home. That's what I'm interested in. I'm really not even interested in your front porch, to be quite honest. But I'm interested in what's going on in front of your house, maybe on the side of your house, and in the rear of your home. That's all I want.
And we know the department is working, but are you all also reaching out to the city council or the mayor? Are you all kind of having conversations about what to do?
As far as Birmingham Connect?
Well, no, just crime, period.
Well, the city is extremely supportive of the police department. I mean, I can't thank the mayor and the city council and other city leadership for the support that they give us day in and day out. You know, it comes to a point where you can buy all the bells and whistles and technology you want, but if you're missing, here again, that critical piece, people either giving you access to the cameras or giving you information, you're still missing that critical piece. If people really think that we're going to put, I mean, the amount of cameras it would take to blanket this city, which is 141 square miles, would be astronomical. I mean, there's no amount of money in this world to cover that. To have one on every block, covering every home, it's not financially possible. It's not feasible. That's where you've got to have residents come in and business owners come in and buy in and say, like, I've had enough of this. I want my city to change, and here's what I'm going to do to be a part of the solution.
With 13 happening in March, do we know where that puts us as far as the number for the total year of homicides this year?
Yes. So criminal homicides, that puts us at 28. And I believe we had 10 last March, so that gives you perspective of where we are this March versus last March.
You talk about, you know, the community being tired of this happening.
Well, I guess the question is, are they? If they were, I guess I would expect to see more action on their behalf.
And I know a talking point that you have a lot of times is conflict resolution and the lack thereof. Talk about, I guess, if that's frustrating for you to keep having this conversation and what you think needs to change in order for this to stop being a conversation where this conflict resolution issue is no longer an issue.
Well, you know, the city and the Birmingham Board of Education have started conflict resolution programs in the schools. It's not something that can be solved overnight because here again, the age of these individuals that we went over, some of these people are their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. We can't force them to go to school. We can't force them to enroll in some type of conflict resolution program. What we can do is start with our young students who are in school today and teach them ways to deal with that so that when they get out on their own, whether they're working in school, whatever the case may be, they know how to deal with those situations so they don't fall into these. So it's going to take time to get that programmed in our community just to see some real results. But I can assure you the city and the Birmingham Board of Education are taking huge steps to correct that moving forward.
And what about for the adults? I mean, what do you say to them? I mean, you can't teach it, but what do you say to adults who are, you know, showing lack of conflict resolution skills?
That's a difficult task. I mean, how do you know, a lot of times when the police goes to speak to different groups, we're not speaking to the target audience, if you will. We're speaking to the people who want a safer Birmingham, who want a safer neighborhood. You know, the people who are causing issues, they're not coming to those meetings. And so how do you get that audience? And then two, how do you get them to realize that their actions and the things that they're doing need to be changed to preserve their life or to keep them out of jail? It's a good question.
Chief, you just made a good point. What's the message to the people? Of course, we know people, when you go to these meetings, are the ones that want the community safe. What's the message to those who are either involved or have been involved? What's the message you want to send to them today?
As far as the good community members?
No, the ones that you want to address about the violence, not the good ones.
You know, that's a challenge. You know, we've tried different things throughout the years, whether it was, you know, trying to go to some of these individuals and speak with them and tell them, listen, the path that you're going on is going to end up one of two ways, either deceased or in prison. And so some of them are just, you know, just stuck on just being that way. This is just their way of life. Unfortunately, that's all they know, and they don't think that they'll either A, be caught or B, get killed. And unfortunately, as time goes on, we see the same people continue to have interactions with the police department. It's just like I mentioned in one of the cases that the individual who was killed was a suspect in a 2023 homicide. If you continue to participate in those activities, unfortunately, there's one or two outcomes.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.